I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about my experience as a graduate of the Hawaii Island Recovery Program. A little over a year ago, on January 23rd of 2014, I checked into Hawaii Island Recovery. At that time, I was spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally broken. I had been trying for about 5 years on and off to recover from active addiction and alcoholism, unsuccessfully. 5 years prior to my intake at Hawaii Island Recovery, I had gone to my first inpatient drug and alcohol rehabilitation center. I had become a daily user of oxycodone prescription drugs, and my life was just really falling apart at that time, and that was in 2010, summer of 2010. I did a 30-day program in Oregon, and at the time I was clean and sober for a couple months after I got out of the program. So I decided that I would try to go to meetings and try to do things my way. And over a period of about 5 years, I went in and out of 12-step programs and other treatment facilities, and really just ended up being really hopeless. Over that 5-year period of time, I lost everything of any value to me. I separated with my daughter's mom as a direct result of my drug addiction. I had lost numerous jobs, and things in my life were just spiraling out of control, and I couldn't do anything about it. The interesting thing about the disease of addiction is in my experience is the worse my life got, and the more things that I lost, the harder it was for me to maintain anything like sobriety. So I had lost self-respect. I had been consumed by guilt and shame over my actions and my conduct, and pretty much was living in the streets. You know, I would stay on friends' couches, and for periods of times I would stay sober for a week here or a month here and get my life back on track briefly, and I would always follow that up with a relapse. My family lost trust in me, they lost faith in me, and really I lost trust in myself, you know. I had really just lost my way in the world, and really was just what I would consider hopeless. And what happened for me is I got in contact with a friend that was in recovery on Maui, and had a connection here at Hawaii Island Recovery. And I reached out to a family member and got some assistance with getting some help at Hawaii Island Recovery. When I got to Kona, I wasn't really excited about being in treatment again at the age 34 and having nowhere to live, no car to drive, you know, unemployable at the time. And I had, like I mentioned, I had been in numerous 12-step programs in different treatment facilities, and I didn't think it was going to work for me. And what happened when I got here to Kona is through the initial process of meeting the staff and the recovery community here in Kona, I started to feel instantly some relief and some hope. And really the thing that I believe saved my life here was my one-on-one therapies with the counselors at Hawaii Island Recovery. You know, my whole life in addiction and alcohol abuse, I had thought that drugs and alcohol were my problem. And through the process of some one-on-one counseling and group counseling, I learned that drugs and alcohol were just a symptom of my underlying issues and conditions. And I learned through the counselors here that things like compulsivity issues and attachment issues and abandonment issues, that things that were the underlying causes for me to keep wanting to self-destruct my life over and over. And these things had stemmed from childhood issues of mine since I was a young child. And I never had a chance in some of the other programs that I went into and other rehab facilities. I had never addressed the underlying issues that were actually causing me to self-destruct and want to go back to drugs and alcohol over and over and over again. And so through the process at Hawaii Island Recovery, I learned that an attachment issue, basically what that meant to me in my life is that I had self-worth issues because of the way that I had grown up as a child that had never been addressed, and I felt like I wasn't worthy of living a good life. I wasn't worthy of having success and happiness and joy as a part of my life. And so anytime that good things would happen to me in my adult life, I would, on the inside, I would feel I wasn't worthy of these things. And in turn, I would self-destruct through drugs and alcohol and ultimately end up losing these things that were valuable to me in my life. Once I realized that drugs and alcohol weren't my problem, through this process of counseling and some of the 12-step programs that were offered to me here is when recovery really started for me. Because then I finally uncovered and discovered what the root causes were for me to continue active addiction over and over again. And I'm happy to say that it's been over a year now that I've been clean and sober. And my whole life has taken a 180-degree turn. I after a few months at Hawaii Island Recovery, I ended up making my home here in Kailua Kona, and I got a job as a resident manager here at the recovery facility. I work at the house, and I'm able to help the clients, and through my story and my experience, I share that with others, and I bring hope to their lives and let them know that if I can do it, anybody can do it, And after a few months working as a resident manager, a position opened up to where I could be a part-time assistant for the intake coordinator. And it's one of the things that really brings joy to my life and really brings a purpose to my life is I answer the phones when loved ones and people that are struggling call and have concerns and are looking for help, And I share my story with them, and I share what happened to me here at Hawaii Island Recovery. And I get to watch a lot of the people come in and that process of recovery happen. And it's amazing, to me. And I'm very active and passionate about the recovery in my community. I'm a part of a program where our primary purpose is to reach into our community and help those that are still suffering from active addiction and alcoholism. And it's amazing because, my struggles in my life and some of my darkest times through my childhood and up into my young adult life and to where I'm at now have become my greatest assets. I'm uniquely qualified now through my experience to be able to help those that are still suffering. And I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.